that, good people of the internet, is that. So, look what's turned up. Only a week late and after we got back from our trip from the weekend. So this is the new aluminium box thing that they can provide to mount the fridge. And it's actually a lot sturdier and a lot stronger than I thought it'd be. And so now we have to work out how to get all of this in here. As expected, we have a height issue here with the shelf, so the original Patriot shelf is going to have to come out, and the width on the bottom here is not going to reach across those two supports. So my original plan was to use this bit of wood here just to make a floor to bolt it all down to. These 610mm nuts along the top of the shelf hold on a folding down flap which goes through onto the other side, so you could put longer strings through there if you wanted to. Ooh. 1, 2, 3, 4. The plot thickens. So here's my cunning plan. I'll take that 10mm spanner on there and then try and do the Allen key from the other side. Oh, that sounds like a win. Well, that actually went a lot easier than I expected it to. So I've got all the nuts off across the back. Next is 3 rivets here and 1 up in here. Right, I'm going to give the Dremel a whiz for the first one. This is going to be horrendously loud, I imagine. So the trusty Dremel's just gone flat, so while that's recharging, next mission is we'll measure up this base plate and cut a bit of ply there to stick on the bottom, and we might even be able to see whereabouts to mount the fridge. It can go further this way or this way depending on how we want it, just because it is quite narrow. Righto, how long do we need to be? And this is how she'll look. Clean it up a bit. That will go onto there like that. This is either the top or the bottom, I think. And that will go there if it goes dead centre. Or as I said, we might shift it over one way, depending on how the door opening and everything goes. We get that all the way over there. And we've got a bit of room here to stack things, to put things, or we could do it the other way around. Going to have the door so it opens out this way, so it would probably be better to have the gap over here. So there we have our bottom support in. A little bit of flexing through here, but most of the weight will be taken on these arms anyway. And they come out through to about here, so I don't think we're going to have any issues strength-wise. Well, I just found out the microphone's been unplugged, so I don't know how much of the audio of that's going to come through. Probably doesn't really matter that much. It was a lot of drilling and mucking about. Just going to chuck a couple of rivets back in here to fix these holes up. Still debating whether to actually go through and insulate all of this. I have had the thermometer running in there for the past week or so. And even out in really hot days with the black canopy, it's not getting above 40 in there, which is a lot lower than I thought it would be. I think it's time to throw the fridge on, see how she all looks. Well, it fits. Going to swap the door over, as I said, onto this other side, so we'll have to do that. But that opens up like that. So it comes open far enough easily to get to this. How's that, Miss Pat? Right, I'm just going to swap this door over. Should we read the instructions or just have a crack? Yeah. Wasn't really even a question, was it? Sure. And down. This is going to take a while. It's not going to be terribly exciting, so that's about it. She's in. Door swapped over. Well, it's not in, but door swapped over. Plenty of room to get whatever. Not quite sure what this handle actually does. It this is purely magnetic. This is a handle, but this flippy uppy bit doesn't actually seem to do anything. It doesn't. Heap of room in here still for putting, I don't know, water hoses, something. Jesus, whatever that was. So, nearly there. We'll assemble the box. Ah, there's the instructions. How about that? Probably could have read them. All right, I might have a flick through those and see what it says about the handle. Well, instructions are a wonderful thing. Turns out if you read them, they're full of useful information, like, look, there's the 2 screws for moving the door handle. Who'd have thunk it? And we slide this along to where we want it. We'll drill a couple of little 2mm holes in through there to reattach it. So we are inches. What the hell's an inch? Let's call it 2 inches in. Having read further instructions too, this latch is supposed to have this top section mounted on it, which is why it didn't actually do anything. Closed. Having put the thing back together, this handle here clicks underneath this bit here, which is the bit that I didn't actually put on before, but now that I have, sure makes a bit more sense. I think I'm going to have to do all this. I don't really want to have to mount the fridge into it, but to get it in the right location, just to get some measurements, as you do. So my only issue is going to be, let's go for a walk around here. This is the back of the mounts down here. Can I get to them while the fridge is in there? These are the plastic strips that hold it on. Big long one at this end, shorter ones at the back. Okay, it's the next day. I ran into a bit of an engineering kerfuffle yesterday about mounting the fridge to the box and then mounting the box to this. The issue was that the 2 mounting bolts on the back of the fridge box sit right at the very back, and then once it's in there I can't get to them to do them up. So after a bit of brainstorming, what I've done is put in a couple of riv nuts at the back 2 bolts of this piece of wood. So I'm going to assemble the fridge, the box, and then bolt all that down onto this, then lift this in, and I've left just enough room on the sides so when it's in I can get my arm down with an Allen key to do up these 2 bolts at the back. The front 2 aren't an issue, I can get to them nice and easily. This is the very solid fridge box that you can get as an option for the Bushman. I got it just to make it mounting easier in the car rather than trying to make up something around these mounting points. Also, it would just mean I can store stuff on the sides of it without it falling down and hitting against the fridge. Not too tricky to fit. I think next job is to put these plastic strips onto here, and then you run some self-tappers through the outside here, which actually go into the side of the fridge into these pre-drilled holes. So, trusty bit of masking tape, a little bit there, a little bit down the bottom, and you do that to the front one, and there's also a smaller one for the back. Okay, so now we have to move the fridge across. So first off, we've got to mark up our...
You might be wondering why the sides and the bottom of the box keep appearing and disappearing. The box itself is pretty heavy and hard to move around, and with the sides on it, it's very awkward to move. So as I do different bits and pieces, I pull them apart and take it off and put it back together again.
Piece of wood to put the base plate down on. See how we go lining up wise. Oh, beautiful. So now the left hand side, which is this beast. Now this one does have to go around the correct way, so we've got these two holes that need to go into the back of the fridge, so make sure that that one goes on the correct way around, which could be either of those two, but that one's on the bottom, so this one's on the bottom. So these are held in with riv nuts. Straps, the same as we did. These straps are on here to take up this little bit where the plate bolts together. Take it out. Just like this. Righto. What's next? Let's read the instructions just for the fun of it. Loosely fasten top panel, lid, place the fridge inside the fridge box with all plastic foil strips in place. Secure the fridge by screwing in the 12 self-drilling screws. It does have rubber feet on it, so it's... Yeah. So there's pre-drilled holes in the aluminium and in the fridge, and you can just make out the hole there. So basically the camera around, the front of the fridge sits dead flush with this bit. Imagine this is going to be a fairly nerve-wracking experience. Righto, so we've got these lined up, hopefully. Go through the spacer and pick up the pre-drilled hole in the fridge. So these ones don't have pre-drilled holes, but before I put the back cover on, I need to extend these. Warm this up, just gently. Start tidying this up. Remember to feed it through the hole down here before we put the actual plug on, because I'm pretty sure the plug won't fit through that hole. So it's always not pretty here, is it? So I've just done exactly what I told you not to do, which was to put these on. Remember to feed it through the hole down here. Fortunately, they're not super difficult to get out. So after pulling these back out, through here, we do provide a nice little grommet doodad for that to go in there. Now I'll put your plug back together the way it's supposed to be. Fully sick. Like, I say this does all line up very well. Beautiful. Here's hoping the door closes. Don't think we're going to have an issue, are we? No. Good. And that, my fine feathered friends, should be that. Okay, a little bit more wiggling. Couple of bolts. Okay. Beautiful, two for the front. That, good people of the internet, is that. On for some arty shots. A bit hard to take an arty shot of a fridge, I suppose. Now the best bit. I'll put some stuffings in it.